Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Sports. Andy Farrell has officially named his 23 to take on the Springboks this weekend, and a pretty expected 23, to the point where Rassie Erasmus was once again naming the 23 during his press conference and got it pretty much spot on. We'll have to wait and see exactly whether he got all 23 correct. But this is the thing with Ireland, is that they've become quite, predictable, but they're very consistent with the team they sort of select. And they have looked at other options, but going into this Bok game, there were always going to be a couple of constants. And that, for example, was very much the pack in terms of choosing a nice big pack. You've got to front up against the Boks. And the Boks even said in Chasing the Sun, for example, that Ireland are a very physical side. They've got a big pack that can kind of go toe-to-toe with the Boks. And it's a couple of big injury boosts as well in this Irish side. And I think we set up for just an amazing game in Dublin. I think it's a strong Irish side. It's a good bench as well. It's a fantastic South African side with a really strong bench. And I think that we've probably got the two best teams in the world going toe-to-toe on Saturday. I think that, the All Blacks have kind of been so inconsistent that this is kind of where we are. These two are probably the top two sides. So it is very much vying for the top position. I don't think South Africa can actually lose the number one position, especially given the fact that they're playing away. But I do think we are seeing the two current powerhouses of rugby going head-to-head. And it's a big opportunity for the Boks to try and put to bed a record that's not been particularly good. They've struggled in Dublin. In fact, Rassie Erasmus even alluded to the fact that this current Springboks side have never won in Dublin. And Springboks haven't won in Dublin in 13 years. You have to go back to 2012 before you can find the last time the Springboks actually won in Ireland. So it is very much a grudge match. And it's going to need a lot from the Boks if they are to get the job done. And this is what Andy Farrell has gone with. So in the front row, Andrew Porter returns to the starting lineup and is next to Sheehan and Tadhg Furlong. So a big day in the office for the likes of a Bowen Fenter, who has to contend with Tadhg Furlong. Andrew Porter up against Thomas Toy will be a big clash, and Sheehan versus Malcolm Marx. I mean, there's two of the top, four best hookers in the world at the moment. It's a good second row of James Ryan and Tadhg Beirne, who might even feel a bit aggrieved that he wasn't named in the nominations for World Player of the Year. So he'll have an opportunity to go out against the best team in the world, against three Player of the Year nominations, and kind of prove his worth and prove what he's all about. Well, two nominations in the Oxen chair. So it's a big second row. And then you've got Ryan Baird, who's been fantastic. Josh van der Flier, former World Player of the Year, and Caelan Doris, who will captain the side back in the number 8 jersey. So it's a very good pack. It's a very experienced pack, and it's a very big pack. Then you've got Jamison Gibson-Park next to Sam Prendergast. The big test for Sam Prendergast. He's never played. He's never started at 10 against the Boks, and a big opportunity for him to kind of get to that. There's no doubt the Boks will target his channel. There's obviously quite a pretty big rhetoric about the fact that he struggles defensively, that he has been sometimes shown up, and the Boks are definitely going to exploit that. They're definitely going to see Damien de Allende running that channel, Jasper Wiese running that channel, and I think that's why, for example, your Ryan Baird, Josh van der Flier are going to be very important, especially off the back of set pieces, in getting ahead of Sam Prendergast and making sure that they can sort of shut down that number 10 channel. What will also help is Bundee Aki back in the starting lineup. Stuart McCloskey limped off last week, and as a result, Bundee Aki will start. Maybe not in the form of his life at the moment, Bundee Aki, but still a world-class inside centre. He's got Garry Ringrose outside of him, who's returning from injury as well and back to full fitness. The two wings, James Lowe and Tommy O'Brien, and Mack Hansen will once again start in the number 15 jersey after scoring a hat-trick within half an hour in his first appearance in the number 15 jersey. The Australian-born Irishman will look to try and build on that first innings in the number 15 jersey. It's a very good bench. You've got Rónan Kelleher and Finlay Bealham with all the experience in the world. Paddy McCarthy, I think this is going to be a tough day in the office for him. He'll be up against Lowe when he comes on, and I think that I'm expecting Andrew Porter to go the distance, up to 70-odd minutes will be my guess, which means that we need to really make sure that we're having a good go at him, that in the first half, Thomas Toy needs to be having a go at him. Then we need Lowe to grind him down and try and get that Paddy McCarthy substitution made, because I think that he's a good young player, Paddy McCarthy. I just don't see how he really competes with a Lowe. You then got Cian Prendergast and Jack Conan, two good players. More loose forwards, so Tadhg Beirne, obviously being able to sort of switch around there, and you could also put Ryan Baird obviously into the second row. So Prendergast and Jack Conan are two nice players. Prendergast a bit more inexperienced. Jack Conan, he's a two-time Lion Test player, nice physical player, also played really well last weekend. Then you've got Craig Casey, Jack Crowley in your Munster combination, and Tom Farrell in the number 23 jersey. interesting to think that a year ago, the likes of Jamie Osborne, for example, who put us out, put the Boks, gave the Boks the misery of that late defeat. You had Jack Crowley starting, for example. Things have changed in the last year, and it's a massive opportunity for the likes of Sam Prendergast. Jamison Gibson-Park, I still think, is the current best number 9 in the world. So there's definitely match winners in this Irish side, and there's players that do worry me when you go in. Josh from the Flier, if he turns up, for example, Caelan Doris is relentless in his work rate. And I think that the front row battle is going to be a big one. Lineouts, Ireland have actually struggled in lineouts up until last weekend, where they suddenly came good and were stealing every single Australian lineouts like it was going out of fashion. So the lineout battle is going to be a very interesting one. And I think that that's a potential opportunity for either side to try and get involved and exploit the other. But I think that the set piece battle is going to be a big one. And in the midfield, lots of experience between, there's probably about 400 caps, maybe about 350 caps between, the 4 midfielders across the 2 teams. There's that much experience. There really is. Garry Ringrose is a very experienced player. Bundee Aki is an experienced player, as are Jesse Creel and Damon Day-Lindy. So that for me is a very exciting battle. And then lots of X Factor out on the various wings. So it should be a fantastic game. That's the main thing. And, speaking about the selection and about the Boks, Andy Farrell said, South Africa are the world champions, and we know the challenge that awaits us this weekend. Whenever you face a top side, you know that you have to be on the top of your game and that you'll be tested. And we'll look to build on the momentum from last weekend and approach the game positively. The players were galvanized by the support last weekend, and it makes such a positive difference when you're at home. There's familiarity and respect between both teams, and I know how excited the squad is to represent Ireland to the best of our ability for our last home game of 2025. This is personal for both teams. It's Ireland still, I think, look at the Boks and say, we should have been the world champions. We feel like we are number 1 on the side. The Boks, I think, still feel that not enough respect was given to them post-2023, especially the fact they didn't get to beat Ireland 2-0. So there's a lot of riding on this game with regards to bragging rights at the end of the day. And it's difficult to say which team is more sort of hyped or more in on this game between the two. But all we know is that it should be an absolutely epic clash. What are your score predictions? What do you think of this team? Let me know down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.